Welcome to Knack's Corner. Today, I'm going to talk to you about The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I just finished this book last night, and it blew me away. I was reading and reading voraciously through this entire book. It had me hooked from beginning. I heard so many great things about it from other booktubers. I got excited to read it. I heard she had the third book coming out this year, so I made sure to move it up my list so that I could get to it. I'm so sad I slept on this book for so long. It was like the time someone gave me Otis Redding's Essential. It was called The Essential Otis Redding, and it was released after his death. And I had it for about 2 years in my record bin, and I never listened to it. Then one day I was bored and I wanted to try something new, so I threw it on because I like Otis. I've liked Sitting at the Dock of the Bay by Otis. And then, holy moly, I was so sad that I did not listen to this record for the 2 years that I owned it because it was so good. And this book made me feel the same way. I've seen it in my bookstore all kinds of times since I started working there. I've seen it on booktube all kinds of times, and it just looked good, and I slept on it. I didn't even touch it, didn't pick it up, didn't look at it. And then recently I bought it because I was set that I was going to read it and finish it. I picked it up, started reading it, and I couldn't put it down. In about 4 sittings, I completed this entire book. And the last sitting, I could not put the book down. 150 pages at the end of this book is like a rocket ship taking off. It's phenomenal. She starts off in a nice small place and starts to build and build and build. And as she's building, the momentum of the story is just gaining speed and speed and speed until that last chunk of the book is just boom, 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 and it's rockets going off. It's phenomenal. I was blown away by how amazing this story was. It had everything in it that I want from a fantasy story. I want to get away from European fantasy because I've read so much of it, and this took us to Asian, more specifically Chinese history as reformed into a fantasy. We have gods now. In real life, I'm not a fan of gods because personal reasons. In books, especially fantasy books, I love pantheons of gods. I love when gods show their power. One of the things I loved about A Song of Ice and Fire is the Red God. People are like, why do you like the Red God? It's clearly an evil god. I'm like, because it shows me power. The Light of the Seven does nothing for me. The Faceless God, something. The old gods, let's see what happens. The Drowned God, interesting. But we're not talking about A Song of Ice and Fire. That's something I loved about those books, about those pantheons of gods. With the Poppy War, they gave us the gods, and I love it. Another thing, phoenixes. I love phoenixes. That's something about me that I love when I see them in fantasy books is phoenixes. I love the idea of being reborn from the ashes. And like there isn't quite a magic system in this, but it's the power of the gods, and I love that. We also get to see a lot of friendships being made, conflict between characters, growth. A lot of the growth in this book on characters is phenomenal. There are characters you're going to start out hating, and by the end of the book, you're going to love them. There are characters that you're thinking they're going to go one way, and it goes a completely other. That's something I really enjoyed about this book, was that it just took me in unexpected directions, and I loved it. And I also had made some statements on my Discord server. If you would like to join, links down below. And I love it when you can guess correctly what's happening in a book. Not that I foresaw what was going to happen, but there were a few things in there that I was like, I'm expecting this, and I'm expecting that, and I'm expecting this, because the groundwork was properly laid out. And it felt so good to know that my mind was working in the same direction as what R.F. Kuang's was. And I gave this a 5 star. 5 stars. It's definitely been phenomenal. People say the Dragon Republic is better, and if it is, I'm just going to be blown away by the series because I think this was my favorite read of the year. I really do. I look at it and I think about it and I wonder, I had The Witcher, which I was enamored with when I read that this year. And it doesn't hold up to this book. This book is phenomenal. Um, I just I really enjoyed it, and I want you all to enjoy it as well. So, highly recommend it. If you want something from your fantasy that's going to be different than what you've experienced every time you read a book, I highly recommend this. It's going to go in a very interesting direction, and I'm excited to see where part 2 takes us. I'm also excited to see where part 3 takes us now. So this book has got me hooked. I am ready to go, and I am in love. So, yeah, that's going to be everything for this book review. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. So take care of yourselves, and have a great day. Bye, guys.